After going to school for 7 hours, you just want to relax, but you can't because of the hours of homework your teacher gives you. Is homework really that necessary after you have worked so hard in school all day? I believe that homework is not necessary because you've already worked in school all day and then you have to go home and do more hours of schoolwork. Excessive amounts of homework actually causes lower test scores, a higher chance in dropouts, and parent stress. Piling on the homework doesn't help kids do better in school. In fact, it can lower test scores. According to Richard Walker, an educational psychologist at Sydney University, data shows that in countries where more time is spent on homework, students' scores lower on standardized tests. The same correlation is also seen when comparing homework time and test performance at schools within countries. Past studies have also demonstrated this basic trend. Inundating children with hours of homework each night is detrimental, the research suggests. While an hour or two per week usually doesn't impact test scores one way or another. However, homework only bolsters students' academic performance during their last 3 years of grade school. There is little benefit for most students until senior year in high school. The same basic findings holds true across the globe, including in the U.S., according to Gerald Latrende of Pennsylvania State University. He and his colleagues have found that teachers typically give take-home assignments that are unhelpful busy work. This type of homework tends to produce marginal lower test scores compared with children who have not given any work. Even the helpful, advancing kind of assignments ought to be limited. Harris Cooper, a professor at education at Duke University, has recommended that students be given no more than 10 to 15 minutes of homework per night in the second grade, with an increase of no more than 10 to 15 minutes in each successive year. Most homework's neutral or negative impact on students' academic performance implies there are better ways for them to spend their after-school hours than completing worksheets. So what should they be doing? According to Latrende, learning to play a musical instrument or participating in clubs and sports all seem beneficial. These after-school activities have much more diffuse goals than single-subject test scores. When I talk to parents, they want their kids to be well-rounded, creative, happy individuals, not just kids who ace the tests. Okay, so here's a graph of time spent doing homework by high school students. It's by race, and the average amount spent is 6.5 hours. Okay, over the last decade and a half, children as young as 9 to 11 have seen a nearly 40% increase in homework, a trend that is likely to continue. In interviews with high school dropouts as part of a study for the Maine Department of Education, we asked students if there was a moment when they knew they were going to drop out of school. Their tales told the story of incomplete homework, a parent-child conflict exacerbated by homework demands that seem to grow as fast as the time parents have ability shrinks. Overburdened by homework, children may become delusional with school and lose motivation. And excessive homework can interfere with time otherwise spent connecting as a family by playing games, taking walks, or just talking about the day. Families see it as an obstacle in their everyday life. Kids don't always get it done because they either don't understand it wasn't explained enough, no one knows how to help them do it, parents don't always understand how to help, and of course they don't always want to do homework. Researchers of health say the average homework you're supposed to get is 10 minutes a night, and most kids end up with an hour or more. Also, activities stay interesting for only so long, which means students are led to boredom. Homework also denies kids of sports and social activity. They can put too much pressure, just kidding. Okay. Homework does teach kids responsibility and good study habits, but what about the important skills you get from sports and social activities? See, that's the issue right there. When you get a lot of homework, you don't want to play sports, but get it done so you can ask almost every kid that plays sports, and I bet 9 out of 10 would say it's hard to keep your grades high so you can play sports. Children's afternoons and evenings were jam-packed with activities or parents were working late hours that by the time they got home there was barely enough time for dinner, bath, and a decent bedtime. At some point, I recognized that my assigned homework was making for a stressful home life for many of my students, and I wasn't even sure why I was assigning the homework. Quote from a teacher. On top of this, if a student failed to understand the material in the classroom, it will only lead to frustration and incomplete work being turned in for grading. From middle school through high school, it can be typical for students to end the day with up to 3 to 4 hours of homework daily. As the school day progresses, students find themselves being slowly buried class by class in a mountain of homework. Even teachers sometimes resent the expectation of homework. In reality, when a teacher assigns homework for the students tonight, the teacher knows that homework is coming tomorrow night for themselves. I have told you about the main reasons why homework negatively affects our children, but why do we still continue to give children homework? Maybe teachers will think twice about giving that 10-page assignment or the 3 pages of math homework. There are 3 words that I have to say: no more homework.